I'm gonna be honest. Depending on how long it takes us to get through these, I don't think I'm gonna be able to sit through MOTS7 tonight.
Look, we'll see how long it takes.
So I'm saying how long it takes us to get through these.
I know.
I honestly don't think I will.
We have to see how long it takes.
Depends how fast you read.
I know. That's what I'm trying to lie. I don't think these will be that bad, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I just don't know if notifications have been going out lately. I think one...
I'll be honest, the last few times you've gone live, I've never gotten a notification.
Yeah, like you haven't gotten one yet right now.
Let me check.
Yeah. Nope.
Because you went live like multiple times.
Only one, I think people got notifications for last night. Out of the 4 I did. Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Did you happen to get a notification? Just wondering. Because I'm pretty sure they didn't send notifications out.
YouTube has been on some
YouTube
stuff lately.
has been like sucking lately with that crap. No, I knew it. Ugh, it's so annoying.
I don't think I've honestly been getting notifications for anyone's videos lately.
No, it's been like really bad. Let me just put a tweet out in a community post real quick, letting people know. Live on YouTube, of course, they did not send a notification.
Do you guys like how every time she types something on her phone, she has to say the word as well?
I say it out loud.
She's like my grandma.
Shut your face hole. Whoa. No. What? I don't know what I just clicked on. Just clicked on something. Hi, guys. Hello. I'm just sending out a Twitter and didn't get a notification. Yeah, so I'm sending out a tweet updating that I'm live, and I'm going to put it on the community tab real quick so everyone can, Are you kidding me? Oh, sorry, I thought he texted me. It was my brother. I didn't read it properly. Okay, sorry.
Hi to the people that are here.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Come join us. Okay. Let me copy this. Select all. Copy. Let's tweet that. And then let's put it on a community post so people who are not on Twitter can still get to see it. Yes? BTS BU storyline explained and notes. Okay. All right. I posted. Yeah. Didn't get a notification either, of course. Seriously, like they're slacking big time. I don't know what's going on. But hopefully people will start I hope that's gotta hurt, huh? Take lots of pain meds, put lots of wax on it, all that good stuff. Yeah. Refreshing the page, I figured. All right, well, I guess we're going to go ahead and start. I do have a question for those of you who are here and know. Maybe you guys know. Maybe some of you guys don't know. Hopefully someone does. So we're going to start with the only thing we have left are the persona notes, the MOTS7 notes, and then the storyline explained videos by X Celeste, right? So we are about to do the persona notes, but now my question is, so I have all of the notes from the 4 persona albums, right? So I have all the notes. So the question is, do I go in the order of which these are in this? Like 1, 2, 3, and 4 in that order? Or do I go in the order that it's listed in this like Wattpad like list of notes? Because the list of notes in this Wattpad like compilation of the notes is not in the same order as 1 through 4 in here. And I don't know is this the order you're supposed to go in? I don't know. You know what I mean? Does anyone know? Let me send another. Okay. Does anyone know? Wait, hold on. Hello. Okay, so I'm going to ask again. Hopefully someone knows. Okay, so I have the Persona and MOTS7 notes pulled up here. They're in an order by person. So they're in order by person, not by the order that they're in this. So I have like the notes from Persona 1, Persona 2, Persona 3, Persona 4. I have the notes here. And they're in a certain date order, obviously, inside. So do I follow this date order when I'm clicking on which note to read? Or do I just go with per person like it shows me on the website that I'm on? Does anyone know? Because I want to get this started, and I'm not exactly sure which way I should do it. And I don't want to do it the wrong way. No one's helping me. Thank you, Natasha. Oh, good night. 4 a.m. Should we just go with what is in the books? Okay. We're just going to go with the order that is in the notes in the book, since this is actually what's printed by Big Hit. I'm going to do it this way. Yeah, I'm going to do it this way. So notes, Persona 1, we're going to follow this order. Since that's the order they are at in the books, we're going to go by this order so we know which one to click on next. Okay. So let's get started. This is going to be Notes Persona Book 1. And it's going to start with June 4th, year 22. Okay? So, like, if you guys have not followed this up until this point, you guys are going to be very lost if all of a sudden you start reading at this point that we're at now. So just keep that in mind. So, yeah. So here we go. Actually, I think I can make it slightly. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. I will be reading out loud for those who are just listening and don't have time to look at their computer. Okay. So, when I entered my father's library, there's a picture that stood out. It was impressive. Rafts battled over monstrous waves. The men fought with the sea, having to drink, no food, no compass, no hope. The thirst, hunger, hatred, and fear was evident in the picture. Their desire to kill each other out as at sea was as much what would lead their own destruction. This is going to be hard. This is so far away from me. I'm like, I need my glasses. This is going to be bad. Okay. As a child, I was scared of that painting and didn't go into the library unless I really desperately needed to. I wondered why my father would even hang up such a picture. However, as time passed, the painting was gradually recognized as part of the library, and neither was the painting an object of fear or worry. I'm going to need some water. Instead, I developed a different fear. Inside my father's study, there was another room. It wasn't anything special. The room was under lock and key. It was simply an extension to my father's study. If there was anything special about it, it would be that there were a lot of books inside. The shelves were stuffed with as many books as it could hold, many from when my father was in school. I called it the interior room. My father went into the interior room regularly when he needed to clear his thoughts or come up with new ideas. Other than him, no one else went inside. I'd only been inside the room once, but I was really young. I had I had know that it wasn't I had known that it wasn't simply just a study full of books. At first, the books seemed to be placed on the shelves at random. Boxes and documents were carelessly stacked on top of each other. It was human enough the way everything had been placed. The books and their yellow pages never brought me any warmth, the paintings and photographs never stirring my emotions. Just by standing in the middle of the room looking at the bookshelves, I felt nothing but intimidation run through my body, breaking me down. I can't remember any commotion after him having found me in that room, though there might have been one that I might have forgotten about. From that day onwards, I never went back into the room. Once or twice, I may have been daring enough to stand outside the door, but I only spared it a glance worth a second. I never thought about reaching out to turn the knob, not even once. Interesting. Okay, so the next up is May 30th, year 22. So let's go back. See who's May 30th. May 30th is also Jin, year 22, right? Yes. So this is still Jin, but now he is 22. Map of the Soul. That's the only hint I had. I hadn't heard that before now. They were quite unfamiliar. I had no idea what to do with it, let alone what it actually meant. I needed a starting point. I had hoped that the map of the soul would have been that starting point. I was wrong. I went around in circles no matter how hard I tried. I did tons of research. Everything slipped through my hands like grain of sand. Now that I look back at what happened then was the same now. Do you think you can fix all your mistakes and save everyone? I had no idea that, by agreeing to those words, I would suffer as I was now. I turned away from the books I was browsing through and exited the used bookstore. Cherry blossoms brushed past me as I reached the alley and took the stairs. Deja vu hit me then. I felt like I'd been here before. I turned to look at the bookstore's basement entrance. It was dark. I couldn't even see the sign. Maybe it wasn't the same bookstore. Maybe I was confused. I had been to many bookstores and libraries trying to look for clues as to what the map of the soul entailed. I couldn't say much about what I had found. I'd flipped through biographies, the internet, the list goes on. Maybe during my search I'd stumble upon this bookstore. My car is parked at the alley's entrance. I started the car, but I didn't really know where I was going. Interesting. Okay, we are switching members. We are on May 2nd, year 22. Let's go to that. I don't know which member it is because this is in Korean. It has a circle on top of a little table. May 2nd, year 22. Okay. So yeah, so we skipped this, it looks like. Okay. So here we go. Okay, so this is Suga, but Jin is 22, so Suga. Okay. They told me the scar would take some time to fade. It would eventually heal through recovery, but there's very limited chance of that happening. If I kept receiving treatment, I'd improve for sure. The doctor removed the gauze from my arm the third day of my hospitalization. I saw the dark red flesh of my left arm, the result of fire. It was so dark, almost black. I couldn't believe that my body looked like this now. I felt like I was in someone else's body. It was a little unreal. When I dropped that lighter, I'd expected something worse than a severe burn. I'd been ready for more than a little pain. I'd been ready for death. It was a little contradicting, having wanted to end my life, but escaping death through a scar like this. He changed the dressing. This will hurt a little, he warned me as he removed the dressing completely. Blood began to seep from the wound. The blood-soaked gauze reminded me of how brightly the flames burned. They roared around me, ready to swallow me whole. I tried to keep quiet as he tended the wound. I really couldn't help but groan from the pain. The blood's a good sign. It shows that new skin growing underneath this wound. I couldn't help but laugh through the pain. Why was it new things only came my day after death? Or I think that's supposed to be my way. Mm-hmm. Only came my way after death. What would it have been like if I had actually died? Could that have been the only way to start a completely new life? I looked down at my arm again. Blood started to darken the gauze again. I called this blood-stained gauze a flame. The doctor called it regeneration. I wonder whose perspective was right. Okay, so also Suga, March 15th is next. Suga, March 15th. Okay. All right. Let me get some. How are you guys doing? You guys good? A bunch of retracted messages. Okay. All right. Lunch was really good that day. It was kind of weird because it was only a normal school lunch after all. I didn't really show what I felt. I didn't really fit with my character. I sat slouched down in my chair, my chopsticks hanging from my hand lazily. Today's lunch was good though. JK and V wanted to get some sun. They were moving between seats, batting at the curtains behind them. The air was dusty. Guys, can you at least be quiet while we eat, please? RM asked them, a little annoyed with their fussiness. I stared at my spoon, a little dazed out. Since when had I been able to eat with everyone while feeling so at peace? When I'd had dinner with my family, we'd never talked to each other while eating. No one had even commented on how good the food was. No one asked for more. No one said they'd eaten well. Dinner meals in general actually were seen as a daily routine in our family and nothing more. My father had said, Yoongi, no talking at the table some time ago. I remember the sound of his utensils being set on his empty plate. That was about the only sound we heard during meals. After that, it stuck. Instead of talking, I simply ate, keeping the words down with food occupying my mouth. One time I bit the inside of my cheek after a large spoon of rice. I didn't say anything, even though my eyes burned with tears. I simply forced myself to swallow the coppery, bloodied rice in silence. I snapped out of my daze and noticed someone had swiped a dish out of my lunch tray. Involuntarily, I scowled. I wasn't actually annoyed or unhappy, though. I was just scowling kind of person. Ah, V. Suga is mad. What are you doing? What are you going to do now? J-Hope called out. V apologized profusely to me, making quite a grand show of it. This was the perfect example of what V and J-Hope usually did. They never changed. It's fine, you can eat it, I told him dismissively. Everyone started talking again, a flurry of laughter rippling through our table. Nobody realized that I'd spoken during a meal. All right, next up is, we're on someone else. It looks like a little L in the beginning of the letter. A little L on top of a square. June 15th. Let's see. Namjoon, RM. All right. Okay. I noticed a kid near me eating ramen hurriedly. He could have been 8 or 10 years old. He looked up at me every now and then as he quickly ate the rice and noodles. What's your name? I asked him. Wu Chang, Song Wu Chang, he answered, accidentally spilling broth on his already dirty t-shirt. He wiped at it with his fingers. Mom's going to be so mad, he muttered to himself. The first time I met Wu Chang was about 2 months ago when I was on my way back home from the gas station. He was standing in front of the container behind me. I thought he'd just walked by as a shortcut to get out of Songjun Station. This place wasn't right for a kid to live in. A few weeks later, I saw him kicking an old soccer ball in the empty lot next to the containers. He was alone. I ran into him several times after that. He was always wandering around by himself. He wore the same clothes. I came to the conclusion that there was no adult or parent figure present in his life to care for him. I couldn't do anything about that, though. I was too busy trying to look after myself. Whenever I walked past him, I pretended not to recognize him. When I left the gas station at 11 that night, looking for my key in my pocket, I saw a shadow crouching a little way away. It was Wu Chang. I really could have ignored him like I always did. I could have found my key and gone inside the container like I always did and closed the door behind me and make ramen for myself before going to sleep. I couldn't bring myself to do that today. I didn't want to either. I lifted my eyes to the sky. It had been overcast the whole day. The night sky was full of gray clouds. There was not even one star in sight. I had only one ramen left. If I didn't have enough energy to go buy more stock up on, that's how I lived. I looked down at the key in my hands. I remembered the countryside I'd seen as I'd left that town. I remember the words I'd written on the bus window. With that in mind, I found the courage to approach Wu Chang. Interesting. Okay. And it goes from here into May 2nd. Hey Naz, yeah, that's why I put it on that page, because I figured nothing came out, unfortunately. Like no notifications came out. Okay. Wait, I'm like holding this like I'm about to read Korean. Okay, RM still. The alley was crowded with furniture and other junk people had thrown out their homes when we got to it. What's going on? My dad asked me, his breathing labored. We were returning home. Oh, wait, he's younger. Okay, this is when he was 18, so this is 4 years in the past. I should probably say that. So this is RM, but 4 years in the past. I was like, why is his dad all of a sudden here? What's going on? My dad asked me. His breathing labored. We were returning home from the hospital. The bus stop was some 100 meters from our house. Mom was leaning against the wall behind the piles of homeware. RM, what are we going to do? She asked, straightening herself as she saw us. I fought with the landlord's son, and he wanted the rent your brother didn't pay. We decided to move the contents of our 2-room apartment into the neighborhood supermarket storeroom. I wanted to throw away a lot of it, but I didn't have the money to do that either. It was late by the time we'd packed everything, and my back was aching terribly. Eat a little, will you? My mom tried giving me chopsticks. I couldn't eat if I even tried. The storeroom was stuffy enough for me to summon the energy to sit on the wooden benches near the supermarket. Where did Namhyun go? Namhun go? Mom asked me from the storeroom. How should I know? I shouted back. Namjoon. I was sick of hearing my name. I regretted telling Namhun to live his life fearlessly. Even if we could stay in the storeroom for a few days, what were we to do after that? I had no idea what we'd do then. The old man who ran the supermarket came out and gave me a beer before going back inside. Old lady. I guess she could see that I had needed it. Old lady. Okay. So he's just kind of looking back on what his life was like beforehand. Okay, next person. It's a small line, a long line, and an O on top of a little platform. May 28th. I really need to learn how to read Korean. So this is J-Hope. Okay. All right, so J-Hope, this is when Jin was 22 still. Okay. So this is like the current situation. We didn't keep in touch much after our trip to the ocean. We didn't have a reason to talk to each other, really. Jin and V had a fight. JK just left, but I don't think that's the reason we stopped talking to each other. What was our problem? Even though I was confused as to why we didn't talk anymore, I never reached out to anyone, because there wasn't a definite reason as to why we'd stopped talking. That seemed to be the reason in itself. Whenever I think back to that day, I remember the wind and the sand it carried with it. Jin climbed that platform. Whoa, that was weird. It just moved. Jin climbed that platform, V following him. We'd all watched them. I felt like they'd done that already a long time ago. Deja vu? I think so. I felt uneasy. And Jimin asked me a strange question. Doesn't this place look familiar? With that rock and the ability to grant you wishes? You remember, right? I didn't really answer him. I looked out. I looked around. That's when the deja vu really settled in. And then the wind picked up. It looked as if V and Jin were going to fall from the strong bouts of wind. Sand got in our eyes. I was left feeling scared and anxious while covering my eyes. I was so scared. Scared for Jin and scared for V, and I couldn't even keep my eyes open to see if they were okay. The wind eventually calmed down enough. Jin was climbing down, keeping his gaze on V, who stood on the platform with his head bowed. Jin walked past us without a word and got into his car. He drove away without even saying goodbye. Even if I tried to talk to him, there wasn't anything I could do for him. That night, we traveled back to Songju. Seokjin left us stranded since he took the car. We didn't even have a place to stay. Namjoon was the first to say we should go home. Everyone was quite disappointed. We wanted to stay at the beach, I think, but RM finally got us to start walking, and so our vacation ended. The expectations we'd built on this holiday crumbled like sand between our fingers as we walked home, becoming a disaster. I keep saying Namjoon, then I keep saying RM. I keep switching back and forth between the two. Okay.
What happened on the platform?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What happened between V and Jin on the platform?
I mean, Jin just...
walk away and, leave everyone, basically.
I feel like you, I said Jim.
Jim. It's good old Jim. Yeah, what the heck happened on the platform? Okay, so now we're on May 10th, so same year, but this is 18 days earlier. So maybe we're going to find out what's going on between V and Jin then. I mean, no, this is J-Hope. Yeah, I don't know. I was walking along the bridge. My eyes were struggling to stay open due to the sun's glare. Why was I even here again? Dizziness. I can't see. Is my vision blurry? Why are my legs so weak? Am I collapsing? I can hear cars hooting. I hated that sound. It was too loud. The black water swirled on my other side, flowing with a threateningly strong current beneath the bridge. The kind lady at the orphanage was probably the first ever to offer me some sort of comfort after my mother abandoned me. I'd woken up with a fear, and she was right beside me. My friend had been adopted, so my bed was empty. She filled that space for me that night. When I woke up in the hospital after a narcoleptic-induced seizure, she was there. When I graduated elementary school, when I graduated high school, she was there. She was always there for me. But she got sick, and someone else from the orphanage had phoned me to tell me so.
Aww.
I tried to get there as soon as possible. I can't even remember how I got there. But I remember her home, her face through the window. She had been talking to someone. She was laughing, telling them about how she needed surgery. To me, I could see through her. I knew she was lying. She wasn't happy about her situation. She was scared. She was hurting, but she kept her smile. She didn't want others to pity her. We almost made eye contact, but I quickly hid away. I would cry if I looked at her properly. I just knew it. I knew I'd resent her in a way as well. You're leaving me too? I'd ask her something terrible like that. She didn't deserve that, so I left without looking back. That's sad. A bus drove past me, hitting me with a gust of air. Mom, I muttered weakly. We'd ridden a bus just like that on the day she'd left me. Why did I have to lose Mom? Lose that wonderful lady who had been my mother at the orphanage? Why did I have to lose those who were precious to me? And that's when I collapsed. Right at that moment, on that bridge, everything became too much. And the world collapsed around me in a squeal of tires on tarmac and in a flash of sunlight. The last thing I felt was my body hitting the ground, and then nothing. Okay, so that's I need you moment, I'm assuming. Okay. All right. So that's what happened before. Okay, interesting. All right, so this is an upside down V with a little line at the top.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And this is July 24th. Okay, so Jimin. Okay, that's J. Okay, so that's a J, huh? Okay, so July 24th. All right. Does it go to that? Okay. All right, so same year, but July 24th from Jimin's point of view. I got to Namjoon's home a little earlier than we were all supposed to meet. I wanted to tell JK that I was happy he was out of the hospital. I wanted to talk to Jin too. There was something I had to tell them. I wasn't sure he'd really be happy to hear it. To pass the time, I'd walked along the train tracks. A train passed me. People filed out while people boarded. Then it was off on its journey again. Soon I decided to finally go meet everyone. I was a little late at this point, around 10 minutes late, but I guessed it was better than being early. Surprisingly, I was still the only one there. When I opened the door, hot gushing air out was my only greeting. Where was everyone? Did something happen? Were they still coming? We went inside, turned on the fan, and left a note for them on the wall. I went inside, turned on the fan, left a note for them on the wall. It wasn't enough, but it was something. Congratulations, JK. I felt a little let down when I left. The stillness in the container wasn't really suited for a party. It was too quiet when I was the only one who decided to pitch up. I waited a few more minutes and checked the chat room. Their last messages confirmed they were coming. Trains kept passing, people boarded, the trains left, no one came. The container remained empty. I remember leaving the hospital. I'd opened that door years after struggling to even step close to it. Without them, would I have been able to open that door? Just because doors are open, just because the door is even there, doesn't mean that it can simply be gone through. Jin was kind of in the same position as I was in then. Was he locked up in a predicament like that? In a fearful situation? Could he not get out? I wasn't sure. Would it even help? Would all of our missing pieces help him when we all met tonight? Maybe it could give him a small clue as to what's going on with him. My thoughts crumbled into fright as I heard the door swing open. Yoongi had arrived. Okay. My thoughts crumbled into fright because Suga arrived. Why would he be scared just because Suga arrived? I'm confused. Okay, we're still on Jimin, but May 29th. So this is about a month early. No, about 2 months prior to what we just read. About 2 months beforehand. Okay. I remember sitting in class. The sun hit the desk up front and a little thin beam heating up the wood. A teacher spoke from the front of the class. I couldn't really hear them. I was sitting right at the back. I wasn't paying much attention, and instead, I played with the sunlight shining onto my fingers. My mom thought everything would be fine after going to the hospital. She wanted me to get a diploma, go study at a GED academy, but I couldn't do that. I hadn't gotten better grades. I had no aspirations in life, and the academy hasn't responded to my letters, and there was nothing I could do. I didn't want to study at an academy. Studying was a waste of my time. It was a burden to me. I didn't want to be around strangers. What if someone recognized me? What if they asked me why I hadn't been able to graduate high school? I was scared. I didn't want to remember high school. I didn't want to dig up old memories. They'd only hurt me more. Still don't know what's going on with Jin, man.
Like, goddamn arboretum or however the fuck you...
Arboretum.
Yeah, that thing.
Arboretum. Yeah, I know. No notification. I know. I'm sorry, guys. I put out a community post and I put out a Twitter post because YouTube sucks and there's no notifications going out. But that's also why we're starting with the notes and we'll do the explained in a little bit because obviously... what am I trying to say? Hopefully by then more people will know I'm live and they won't miss the explained. Okay, so next up is someone who looks like it has an E. It looks like a big E first. And it's 11th of April.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so this is earlier this year than everyone else that we've read so far, but same year. I spray painted the face I had seen many times, or I had seen in my dreams on the wall. A line of black, a thin face, a mouth with no words, dry hair, crude lines. I poised the can above the eyes, ready to spray the pupils in. Stopped, took a few minutes, stepped back. Took a few steps back. The face was so clear in my head, the eyes were so detailed in my head too. I didn't know how to convey it in this artwork. The eyes were void of all emotions. They were cold. They were every single color meshed together into one. These eyes said nothing, and with nothing said everything. I tried to do the pupils, but stopped myself every time. In the end, I never did them. The last I saw Jin was 2 years ago. The last I heard, he went to America. I didn't know anything else besides that. I dreamt about him once. It was the first time I had done so. I wondered what he was doing with his life. I remembered the incident in the classroom when he ratted us out. I had good memories of him and some that I couldn't really figure out. That's right, they got in that argument. I remember now. The face I spray painted on the wall was nothing like Jin. He never seemed cold to me. He appeared gaunt and emotionless in my dream, though, which was odd. I inspected the graffiti again. I definitely spray painted Jin, but I didn't know this version of him. Why did I get a dream like this all of a sudden? Filled with terror and anxiety, scenes played over and over in my head. Jin had seen all these terrible things happen over and over again, and his face remained void of all emotion while doing so. I raised my hand and poised my spray can over the artwork again. My hand shook. Before I could do anything, I heard police sirens. Okay.
On to the next.
Same year, about 20 days later. And we're still on V. Wait, right? No. April... Hold on. Wasn't I just on April 11th?
I don't know, click on the one you were just on. Just to verify. I think...
I was just on April 11th. What the hell happened to it?
Go forward again. And then you can see where you were at.
Yeah. April 11th, year 22. Where is that in this? Oh, there it is. Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh my God. What was I looking at before?
Am I crazy? Know. I think you were further down.
Oh, because this is Map of the Soul. Okay. That's why. We're on Persona right now. I was so confused for a second. Okay, April 30th, year 22.
Girl, you gotta get it together.
Man. Okay. Jin was in the car. I couldn't believe it. I was in shock, frozen in place. Namjoon told me Jin was back. This was the first time I saw Jin face to face, and he was looking at his phone, frowning. I wasn't shocked to see him again. I didn't have a reason. I didn't know how to express Jin's face. These words weren't enough, cold, dry, and empty. A cool wind swept past me, giving me the chills. A shiver swept over me. I had seen Jin in my dream with the exact expression that he was wearing now. Because remember, he keeps getting these premonitions. Mm-hmm. JK came around the corner then. He looked serious. He ran across the alley. Jin looked irritated. He gestured and got out of the car shortly after. He seemed to be talking to himself under his breath. I wasn't close enough to hear him. Probably something along the lines of, whatever, forget it. He started towards the motel a little way away, and before he went in, he looked in the direction of JK and ran and left something at the entrance. So is this Suga's hotel? And he looked in, because remember JK saved Suga, so he's looking in the... What? He left something at the entrance. Interesting. Alright, this is another person whose name starts with a J. So I'm assuming... Is it?
You're too far
down. JK. No. Oh, I am. I'm on this JK. So yeah, July 24th. Okay. Hello? There we go. Okay, so July 24th. Congratulations, JK was a banner they'd all put up on the side of RM's compartment at the railroad. It was Jimin's handwriting. It was a welcoming message, but the atmosphere inside was anything but. Recently, the atmosphere around us had been tinged with anxiety whenever we all got together. Jin was the first to leave, with V following close behind him. They gave each other a fleeting glance before Jin got in his car and reversed. His headlights shone onto the compartment, and we all sat in silence as we watched him drive off. I caught a glimpse of the car's bumper. It looked like he had been in an accident. It was dented. Seeing Jin's car like that, dented at the bumper, I was surprised I didn't feel anything when I saw it. I thought seeing something like that would trigger memories of my own accident, would give me terrible flashbacks, but I was shocked that I didn't feel much at all. As I watched Jin's car drive away, though, a memory surfaced. I remember seeing the car's headlights as it drove towards me. The feeling I had upon collision. Unable to breathe, swallow. It was a surreal out-of-body experience. Then the fear crashed down on me. I felt a chill run through me, and I thought, is this how I die? Seeing the dents in Jin's car reminded me of the dents that I had been on the car after it had collided with me. I realized I had gotten up and watched Jin leave. I went back into the container and looked at the banner again. Congratulations, JK. I felt a deep pain run through my leg, one that had gotten injured in the accident. The Hyungs didn't notice. They'd all gone outside to talk, and I had no idea what they were talking about, though. Because didn't, in one playthrough, isn't Jin the one who hit him by accident? Mm-hmm. So isn't that the dent in his car?
Because he even...
So is he realizing that the dent in his car is because of him?
Didn't he say something around the line of, did Jin say he saw me or something like that in the other book?
I don't remember. Okay, 2 days later. Okay, so 2 days later is the next one. All right. Here we go. Okay. I found myself at a bus stop when I finally snapped back into reality. I'd walked for such a long time, lost in my thoughts, when I looked back. The hospital was nowhere in sight. I decided to wait for the bus and got on. The bus was going to that place, and I hadn't planned going there at all today. I guess it was fate. And maybe my own heart was also subconsciously taking me back there. I had known the meaning behind what happened there that day. I looked out the window for the rest of the journey, and it was bright outside since it was summer. And then a thought came to my mind. Could I really trust my Hyungs? The bus finally reached my destination. I got off and watched the bus drive away. Dust kicked up into the air at its departure. As I walked to the place where my accident had happened, I lay on the asphalt and stared up at the sky, mulling over what I could remember from that night. The moon had hung in the sky, shining bright.
New?
It's
You
what?
just scared
What is
the
that?
shit.
Yes! Don't look at... He's literally has BTS Home on Jimmy Fallon on his phone. He goes, is this new?
Baby, that's my jam.
Babe, get out of here. What
ridiculous.
is he doing? I'm going to kill him. We've not seen that yet. We've avoided all spoilers. God damn it.
He's
I'm
ridiculous.
gonna fucking kill him. He literally just had a home, Jimmy Fallon playing. Is this new? I'm like, yeah.
He knows it is.
Son of a bitch. He's like, that's my jam. That's his favorite BTS song. Oh my god, I'm gonna kill him. Anyway, yes, we're gonna be reacting to that on Saturday after our normal live. All Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon, everything, BTS stuff. All of it will be reacted to Saturday night after our normal live. We're gonna go live again after dinner. And that's when we're reacting to all of that, guys. So if you are wondering about that, we got you covered. Okay. Where was I? Jesus, he scared the crap out of me. Okay.
As I walked.
Through the valley of the shadow of death to take a look in my life and realize there's nothing left. Okay. I was such a dork. As I walked to the place where my accident had happened, I lay on the asphalt and stared up at the sky, mulling over what I could remember from that night. Mm-hmm. The moon had hung in the sky, shining bright. I remember seeing the headlights of the car approaching me in my peripheral vision. I remember the shape of the car as it drove past me. I remember hearing it. Somehow it sounded familiar. Back in the present, the sky was starting to darken as the sun set. If I lay down here any longer, I might have another accident. Again, I thought, if I couldn't trust my Hyungs, then who could I trust at the end of the day? Interesting. Okay, so that's it from the number 1. So number 2, what are we at? Okay, we are on June 4th. It starts with I think this is an S, so I think that's Suga. Let's see. June 4th? Oh, no, we're back at June. Oh, because it's an S. Seokjin. Okay. So June 4th. Wait, didn't we already do June 4th?
Does this
Was
just
that the first?
repeat? Honey, does it just repeat?
But there's extra ones here. Oh my god, are these all the same? Are these all the same?
Boo, let me see it. Yes, Boo,
But wait, but there's extra ones that are in here that aren't here.
You see this?
So let's click on the extra ones. Well, if that's the case, these are all... Then these are all in order. But there's a couple extra ones that aren't in here.
Yeah, these are all...
It's literally the same fucking thing. Mm. Well, how come no one fucking told me?
Some of the stories repeat.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me see. So we have June 4th. We have May 30th. But and then it's, okay, so August 9th, year 21, we did not see. So let's do that real quick. So at least we know the next one. Just fucking read these goddamn things in order. Okay. Okay. August 9th, year 21. So about a year prior. Shut up! Shut up! You son of a bitch.
I can't.
Look, I'm trying to get this right. I'm trying to do these. I'm trying to do these the right way. What is wrong with me? What accent was that? I don't even know. Oh, I'm fucking delusional at this point. I don't know. I'm gonna drink more energy drink.
Oh, sweetie. Sweet Anitra.
It's not a thing.
Oh, it's a thing right now.
You know how there's a... Oh, sweet Caitlin is a thing?
Sweet Anitra.
She's trying to make sweet Anitra a thing. It's not a thing.
Oh, honey.
Whatever.
Continue.
Yeah. Okay, so... About a year prior, I walked along the beach, and this is Jen. Walked on the beach taking photos as I went. The beachfront, the neighborhood, they were always changing. The ocean never changed, though. After my walk, I drove for a while, got out, sat on the sand, and took a look at the photos I had taken. The locations and times were different, but the pictures were the same. The photo was beautiful. The horizon and the ocean merged into one. You couldn't tell where the other stopped and where one stopped and the other began. Jesus Christ, I can't read. It had been a year since I'd left Songju for Los... Why does it do that randomly? Oh, because the ad closes. Mm-hmm. That's why it does that. It had been a year since I left Songju for Los Angeles. I stayed with my mother's family, spent my whole childhood there. The house wasn't familiar to me, nor was it strange. The father was the one who taught me to be a good person. I had to hide my emotions and smile, even if it looked a little awkward. In most cases, these little tricks worked. Coming to LA, things were no different. When I arrived in LA, I stopped taking photos of people. I didn't really have a reason why I stopped taking photos of people, that is. I took pictures of the ocean instead. I probably wanted to take pictures of something that would never change. It's kind of funny now that I think about it. It wasn't that my friends or I had changed. I'd always been like that. I'd just gotten caught this time. I didn't bring high school photos with me to LA. I changed so much compared to who I'd been in high school. I don't hide my feelings anymore. I had no reason to find a place of my own. My smile was still awkward, but it was different from before. Back then, my smile was genuine. I lifted the camera to my eyes, taking a photo of the ocean. The sky was overcast. The sky and the ocean were the same color, and the horizon was blurry. Of all the photos I had taken of the ocean, you'd think that they were identical. They weren't. Every single photo was different and unique in its own way. The weather, the light wind, they were all different. My eye while taking the photo, my heart, those were all different. Those were also different. These differences were true for the photo I had taken today, as well as those I'd taken in high school. The photos contained the eyes and the heart of the photographer. Maybe I hadn't brought my high school photos with me to LA because I was afraid to recall how I'd been back then. I was afraid to miss who I used to be. How was I doing? What did I think of myself? These questions terrified me, and because they make me scared, I put them in a box and shut the lid tightly. I wouldn't see those photos again for quite some time. Interesting. Okay, so that was Jin. So the next one, I got it, y'all. The next one was Yoongi, 15, the second. And see, this one skips to June. So March 15th is not here. So March 15th is the one that we missed earlier. Okay? So, but why are there like extra, there's like extra like...
We have already read this. Honey, because doesn't it go one and then it goes back and then back and forth, back? We've read this. You look at that. I'm gonna look at this.
Did I click on the wrong one earlier then? I might have clicked because this is not in here.
Let's see.
Yoongi March 15th is not in here. I might have clicked on the wrong one earlier.
Let's see. May 2nd.
No, we got that one. May 2nd is good. It went from May 2nd to June 23rd. I think I didn't click on June 23rd. I think I accidentally clicked on March 15th. Click on June 23rd. One earlier. Okay. Okay, so Yoongi, 23rd of June, same year, current year. I opened my phone the minute I noticed all the notifications on our chat room. It was already dark outside. It wasn't the easiest task, sorting out all the lyrics I'd scribbled down into one song. I sorted through the ones that had survived the fire. I could still remember their melodies like it was yesterday. Most songs I had in that pile had been written in that storage room in high school.
We're lagging.
Oh, crap. Why are we lagging? Are we lagging for you guys? Guys, let me know if we're lagging for you. Why? Really?
I think we're back. I think we're fine now.
I mean, it's still saying that. You were lagging, but I think we're good now, yeah? You were lagging a bit. Okay. Now it's saying poor, but then that says...
Yeah,
you were not anymore.
Yeah,
okay. You can still hear us, though, when we're lagging, correct? I'm pretty sure you can, but I just want to make sure. Okay. All right. That's weird. Okay, good. All right. Okay. Okay. Most songs I had in that pile had been written in the storage room in high school. Looking back, I hadn't written that much. Even today, I was still running away from music. I opened the chat room. Oh, look, now it's excellent condition. Okay. I opened the chat room, surprised by how many messages there were. Jimin was the one who'd made the chat room. They'd started talking before I'd been invited. As I read the messages, thrown into the middle of a conversation, V texted. V, how do you guys know what the map of the soul is? J-Hope texted back, what is that? V, Hyung, if I knew, why would I ask? J-Hope, good point. Then why are you asking? They kept texting back and forth I think it's supposed to be while, until Jimin responded and explained the whole story. Jimin, I went to the hospital and ran into Jin Hyung on my way back. He told me he was looking for the map of the soul. A while later, Namjoon joined as well. Namjoon, Jin asked me that too. A while back, he asked me if I knew what the map of the soul is. He said it'd be the only way to end all of this. No one responded to that. We were all probably lost in thought. What did Jin need to end? We all knew Jin had started acting a little strange lately. Would he be okay once he found this map of the soul? What was it? And how could we find it? Everyone started talking again later on. Someone texted asking why JK wasn't invited into the chat room. Jimin's response was a little vague and unsure. Jimin, I wanted to invite him, but he's still hurt. I wondered why Jimin had gone to the hospital. I wondered how he felt going back to that place after he'd been trapped there for so many years before. I'd already closed the chat. I quickly opened it again and sent a quick text. Suga, it's okay. You did well. We'll let JK rest a little while longer. Interesting. Okay. So let's figure out which Namjoon one we did not read. 2nd, 23rd, 15th, and 12th. So we didn't read May 2nd. Okay? All right.
We read that one.
We did read that one. I clicked on the fucking wrong one again.
Probably the one below it you need to read.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm just definitely going to just click on them all in order next time.
Okay,
yeah, okay.
Did read that one.
Okay. The countryside town hadn't changed the slightest. The season had changed, but besides that, the town had remained unchanged. I headed uphill to the rest stop to avoid the shops. It was really hot. A scooter raced past us, leaving a cloud of dust in its wake. I can't fucking talk today. V complained to himself as he coughed. A little way ahead, I spotted the place where the accident had happened all those years ago, just around the bend. There were no signs left on the wayside after all those years. Taehyung dropped to his knees. Oh, this is when he's talking about... It's not really Taehyung. It's his friend that reminds him of Taehyung. The way they wrote this is very confusing for someone who's not following along very well. So the kid who looked like V's dropped to his knees, his eyes fixed on the asphalt. I told the kid about what had happened in the small town. Oh, wait. Maybe it is Taehyung. Maybe it is. Did him and Taehyung go back to the place? Because it does say the place looked the same. So did him and V just travel?
Sure, I told him memories of a friend called Tandy. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is actually V. Okay. V dropped to his knees, his eyes fixed on the asphalt. I told V about what happened in the small town. I told him about the Riverside's restaurant competition. I told him about the snow, about the accident, about how I'd almost slipped and met the same fate as Taehyung, about the other V. I told him about how easily the whole thing had been forgotten. It was absurd, really. I told him about all those memories of shared with that friend called V. Hyung, let's never die. V was looking up at me, his palms set firmly on the asphalt. I didn't really know what to say. It seemed as if V was beneath V's hands on the road, as if V was still resting on the white lines. No one on this earth would ever have wanted to die the way that he had. He died alone, and no one cared or mourned for him. I couldn't say anything, though, because I hadn't done any of that either. Let's go, I finally said. Where are we going now? V asked, picking himself up. When we went to the beach, you said you wanted to ask me something, right? Why don't we talk about it? Whatever you're struggling with, whatever you wanted to talk about, let's try and sort it out together. Well, that's good. So, like, the phone call never happened, but, like, now they're getting their chance to talk. So that's, like, really good. Oh, okay. So he told V about the guy who reminded him of V. That got confusing. All right. So next up, which one did I not click on for J-Hope? We have the 20.
Which one do you think you actually clicked on, but you didn't?
Well, that's the one that's not in the book. So we'll click on that first. I fucking watched that. God damn it. I apparently just did not click on the right things. I mean, not that it matters. Like, we need to read them all anyway, but that's just annoying. Okay. Earlier in the year, J-Hope. Everything changed after I turned 19. I wasn't a ward of the state and couldn't stay at the orphanage any longer. I'd saved up money from the part-time jobs and from the stipend I'd gotten after leaving the system. It was time to find a place of my own with the money I had. I didn't want to go near the places I'd been while growing up in the orphanage. I went further into the city and found a rooftop room at the end of a street instead. They were cheaper. It's weird that the rooftop rooms are cheaper. You would think they would be, more luxury because they're up higher. I don't know. Oh, but if it's all stairs, maybe that's why. I didn't think about that. If there's no elevator, then that's probably why. I dragged my suitcase upstairs. It wasn't too heavy because I'd never had much. I'd gotten furniture from the recycling center to fill the apartment. I only had a few clothes and a pair of shoes to pack out. Arranging the apartment wasn't a hassle at all. It was exhausting, though. I'd only been able to rest after it had gotten dark outside. It was only February, and yet I'd picked up a sweat. Cold air blew in as I opened the metal door and went out and leant on the banister, taking in the view of Songju. Now, where was the orphanage? I swept my gaze over the river and followed its path to the left. There were so many neon lights in the city that I wasn't able to make out where the orphanage was in the end. I'd have a better chance spotting it when it was bright outside. My apartment was really only a room. It was a bit shabby. It didn't get a lot of maintenance either. It was hot as ever in summer and let in cold drafts in winter, but it was mine. And because it was mine, I could do whatever I want, be whatever I wanted inside its walls. I had privacy. I could cry and laugh all I wanted with no one around to see me. I turned back to my apartment, my very own home from this day forward, the place near the sky above the city, and shouted, "Let's do well." Oh, I love him. Oh, I really liked that. I really liked that one. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. The next one, I'm just going to read them in order. I was trying to follow this, but apparently each person has one extra note that's not included in the albums. I guess there was like a special thing. I don't know. And this is everything, which I didn't realize. So, but for the MOTS7 notes, which we're doing next, I'm definitely going to make sure I read it all in order, so we don't have to go back and forth like this, because this just takes more time that we don't have. Okay, Jimin, we're supposed to have missed this one. We will see. Okay, yeah.
Oh, you actually clicked on the right ones.
Can you believe it? Okay. So this is 4 years ago in December. We're almost there, my mom said. I wiped my sleeves across the car window so I could see outside, and I saw a sign. Songju middle school. She'd chosen the school. Oh, fucking A. She'd chosen the school because there was no more schools for me to transfer to in Munhyun. It was a relief to her that the schools decided to take me. How long would I last in the school? I spent so many days in the hospital. We pulled up into the school and went through the PE area. No one was outside except us. It was too cold to play outside, and my mom finally parked next to a set of swings and chin-up bars. I looked at the swings and remembered how much I used to love playing outside. I remember white clouds being blown through the blue skies. It was like a scene from a movie. My mom said it was weird how I liked playgrounds so much. I'd be at the playground from early morning until nighttime every day, until the arboretum incident. I'd love swinging. The adrenaline rush I'd get when swinging up high enough to feel dizzy. It was so exciting, but scary at the same time. I loved it. One day, I got all my friends to push me as hard as they could. I wanted to swing all the way around. None of the other kids had done it, and I was determined to be the first. At first, it was as if I was floating. It was amazing. I felt like I could touch the sky. And then gravity took over, and I fell flat on my back into the sand. When I opened my eyes, I realized I had sand in my mouth. My knees were scraped a little, but it didn't hurt at all. I was just left feeling disappointed that I wasn't able to swing all the way around the frame. In a way, I remember how I looked on that swing. I looked like the old Jimin who was determined to accomplish his goals. I wondered if I'd stayed like that, where I would have been in life right now, what I would have accomplished. My mom snapped me out of my thoughts and we walked into the school together. Songju Middle School, the 5th school I attended. All right, up next is V, and then we have Jungkook after that. Or Jungkook. I don't know. 11th, the 30th, so we are missing this one. Okay, so this is 2 years ago in June, V. Stupid dog couldn't even wait a second, could it? We hadn't found Dubu yet. We'd already scoped the entire neighborhood. It had been 20 minutes already. How could a 2-month-old puppy go so far in that short amount of time?
Oh,
poor baby. The sun was hot. It was summer. My throat was sore from calling for Dubu. Dubu. All I did was answer my phone, and he slipped out of his leash and ran off. I ran down alleys and looked in every door. I called for him. All I got was stares from people walking by. I have to admit, I got quite angry. I called him a little mutt and said that that's why he ran away. But I knew that wasn't the case. It wasn't his fault at all. He was mine, after all. I was responsible for him. I chose to check my phone instead of looking after him. This little puppy thing reminds me of the puppy that was in his Wings short film.
When he was in the cage.
Mm-hmm. But what if he'd ran away because of me? I stopped walking for a second. Maybe he didn't like me as his owner. I enjoyed having him live with me, but maybe to him it meant nothing. But maybe he missed his family. A second later, I heard the familiar sound of paws on pavement. I heard Dubu barking too. At first, I was sure I was hallucinating, my imagination even. But when I turned around, there he was, running down the alley. His ears were flapping in the wind, his tongue out as he ran uphill. Dubu, I kneeled down as he ran straight for me. Where did you go? How did you find me? Did you remember me? As I held him, a strange feeling came over me. I had a sort of realization. I finally could be reliable to someone. Dubu had me, and only me to rely on. I was someone he could come back to. Dubu tried to squirm away from me, but I only held him closer to me.
That's you and Taco.
What? I don't know what you're talking
Taco
about.
tries to get away from you, and you're like, no, why are you trying to
let
leave
me? Let
me?
me love you.
Why are you trying to leave me?
Just
Why would you want to leave me?
Yeah, whatever. Okay. And then we have, last but not least, we are supposed to be missing this one. We'll see. No, I'm pretty sure we had already seen that one, right? Yeah. Uh-huh. That was when he was reminiscing about where he got hit.
Yeah.
So it's probably this one we haven't seen. Yep, okay. Okay. I pedaled harder as the sun began to set. I was on my way... Oh, sorry, this is a year ago. I pedaled harder as the sun began to set. I was on my way to the Yangjicheng riverbank. The sky darkened, a cascade of pinks and purples. It was beautiful. Riding my bike like this, seeing the sunset, made me feel lighter, as if all my burdens from the day were forgotten for a few moments. Just as my mom had started to prepare dinner, I decided to take a ride. I didn't want to see anyone at home. No one ever smiled when they saw me. That's when I realized, even if you lived with people your entire life, it didn't make you family unless you loved each other truly. When the Hyungs left one by one from school, we'd hardly kept in contact, despite us still living in the same city. Now that they were gone, I had no one to show me any love. Oh. The sun finally went down. The moon wasn't out yet. By the time I reached the riverbank, it was dark. Things had changed in this area a little bit. There was a park now where the road used to be. There was a scrapyard, and by the looks of it here too, it was filled with old tires, garbage, and beat-up cars. I leaned my bike against one of the bridge's pillars, and I made my way to the riverbank. I spotted a few kids on the other side drinking and messing around with a few sticks they had gotten on the ground. My side was quiet. I guess it was partly due to the scrappy demeanor of this area. To the other side was cleaner and more appealing. I was happy to be on this side, though. I was happy to be myself for a while. No one would be able to find me here either. I didn't want this moment of solitude and peace to ever end. Okay, so those were the persona notes. I felt like it was a little all over the place, which they were. Those were multiple years that kept jumping back and forth through. I feel like it was more all over the place than the past notes. Is it just me, or do you feel that way too?
No, I definitely feel that way.
Okay, yeah. I felt like this was definitely a little bit more all over the place. So definitely Anitra and Taco. What? Just let me love you. Just let me love you. Exactly. Y'all get it? Okay. Okay. Hey, that was a lot. That was a lot.
I'm tired.
Hey, Woods, I'm in the middle of reading the notes from the BU storyline. The end of the notes. Bringing us to current where we're at now. If you have not...
You're welcome.
Yeah, ow, my ears. Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it?
Why do you
if you have
so
not...
loud?
It's about where it normally is. It wasn't that loud. You were just really fucking loud.
I'm tired. I'm at 5:30. And I also have to be back up at 5:30.
I literally got water all over myself.
Good.
Okay. Let's do this. We are going to go to the Map of the Soul 7 notes. We are starting with Jin. All of these, one of them jumps back. All of them are they start jumping back. For the most part, they're all current year 22. Basically Jin 22. But yeah. Oh, hi Taco Man. Speaking of, Taco Man. Here,
okay.
hand me my tape pillow in case he jumps up here.
That is so far away from me.
Oh my
You do realize
God.
that's all the way over there, right?
It's
literally all the way over there. Yeah, my arm is not long enough to reach that.
Holy shit, guys. Wow. Taco Man. Ow, I just hurt my foot. Taco Man. You come up here? Come on. 1 second, guys. Come on. I got it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Here we go. Taco kitty face. You gonna sit with Mama? Yeah? Okay. Close this door because he's got laundry going on out there and it's loud. Okay, Taco, are you ready? Are you ready, baby boy? Ugh, hold on. Okay. Oh, hide the face. Okay. Might need you to navigate this. Yeah. Okay, she's gonna navigate here. Take this so you can... Okay, there we go. Taco's my bias racker.
Oh, hello. There we
He
are.
does have a little distinctive face, huh?
All right.
Yeah, baby boy.
Here we go.
Yeah.
We're good.
Okay. Oh, wait. What year is this and everything? Who is this? Okay, so Jin, April, kind of the same year that we're currently on. Okay. I woke up squinting as the sun shone in my eyes. I'd had that dream again. RM's home in flames. RM's lifeless form inside. I covered my eyes and sat up. How on earth was I going to save RM? What else was left for me to do after everything I had already tried? September 30th. I don't remember feeling much that day. I wasn't impatient or afraid. Pardon me? Oh, hi. After the accident, I had found myself stuck in this loop. I had no idea how it happened or how to fix it. I hadn't even figured out what the map of the soul actually was. The map of the soul was supposedly what would end all of this madness. It was the key to ending this loop. After looping several times, I remember hearing these words: all of this will end and you will find the map of the soul. He's being so cute right now. I can't take it.
Hi.
Oh my god.
He likes me
He
to
wants
hold
to
his
hold
paw.
he likes people to hold his paw. Oh my god, so freaking cute. Okay. What is the map of the soul? I asked back. I got no answer. Instead, the voice replied, hints come at a cost. Hints come at a cost. So if they start helping him,
Things are gonna happen.
what's the cost? Wow. The gas station where RM worked was some way ahead of me. I decided to change lanes. The loop will end if I stop the accident that happened on September 30th. That was my goal. That was the only thing I could think about. Even if others were hurt, I couldn't care. I had to focus on stopping that accident. I couldn't let the other incident overwhelm me right now. I had to focus. I had to survive. I had to escape. My safety was just as important while trying to save everyone else. I had to save myself first. I had to escape first. That was the loop that's what the loop had taught me. Interesting. Wait, so is that the accident with the girl? Is that the one he's trying to prevent?
Possibly.
Your stomach
I don't want to talk
is
about
making
it.
all kinds of crazy ass noises. Oh my god. Okay. So Jin, later the year, August. I stared down at the Polaroids I'd laid across the carpet. Oh, okay. We're in his Awake short film. Okay. I stared at the Polaroids I'd laid across the carpet. All at once, the images began to move. They became memories. They began to move before my eyes. JK turned to face me as if he'd heard Jimin and J-Hope laugh. I heard Yoongi playing the piano. RM and V laughed as they ran along the beach. Those were the things I remembered while looking at the photos. They played out in my mind like a film, with so much clarity. The moment after moment washed over me, one film after the next of memories. I'd heard the laughter, felt the sun shine warmly on my skin, saw the bursts of color around me, and it was as if a floodgate had opened. The memories didn't stop flooding into my mind, never gave me a second to rest. I couldn't come to my senses for a while. These memories were too overwhelming. The room was filled with so many memories. Sad, nostalgic, troubling, and enjoying memories at that. Suddenly, I felt something unbelievable. How could I have ever forgotten these memories? That's when I spotted something out of the corner of my eye. There was something shimmering inside my pocket. What on earth could it be?
I don't know.
What is it? Wait, what would be shimmering inside of his pocket? I'm trying to think. Was that the last Jin one?
Nope, we have one more.
Oh, okay. I thought you just clicked on Yoongi. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so wait. When was this? Okay, so now we've gone back earlier this year. Dang it. I want to know what was in his pocket.
Hi! No, I tried to click off you, bro.
Okay. I glanced out the window. Oh, we will be landing shortly. I glanced out the window to see the clouds pass by. I'll miss the time I spent in LA. It was nice to go to the beach. Nothing else was extremely memorable besides that. The plane made a wide turn, and soon I spotted the city below me. I hadn't expected to come back to Songju so suddenly. My father had called me and told me to come back. He never gave me a reason as to why I should return. It was odd, but I was sure I had a reason, or sure he had a reason. After all, he was a man who always had a reason for his actions. Maybe coming back wasn't so sudden. Maybe this was fate. And fate was never sudden, was it? Is that our house? The little boy in front of me pointed down to the city. No, our house is across the river, the father replied. Home, I thought to myself. I didn't feel like I was going home. LA hadn't been my home either. I guess I didn't really have a place to call home. I never really felt at home anywhere. Okay. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Did you pause that at least?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? I'm freaking out over here. Oh, why are you opening them in a new tab? So that you don't have to keep going back?
So I don't have to keep scrolling down.
Okay. Okay, so Suga, June, same year. I lay sprawled out on the floor of my apartment, remembering what JK told me. It's because you like your music. It's because I like your music, Young. Listening to you play the piano makes me want to cry. Every day is so hard for me to get through. I think of ending it all every single day. But you know what? Every time I hear you play, every time I hear your music, I want to live. I want to keep on going. I'm telling you now, your music is like my heart. Your music is like a pacemaker that keeps my heart beating.
That's too much, man.
Oh my god, that totally got me teary-eyed. Holy crap.
That's too much, man.
Oh, wow. Oh, we could just hit continue reading the next fucking part? Wow. We've been hitting back this entire time. Jesus Christ. Wow. Okay.
That's too much.
She missed it too. What? I don't know what I missed. I don't know if I should be reading this stuff.
I don't know either, so I'm not gonna read it.
I know. I'm like trying to skim it. I don't know. Okay. Okay. So July 25th. This is 7 years ago. Jungia. I sat in front of the piano after playing outside. I was still sweaty from running around under the sun. I wiped the sweat from my hands and took a look at the sheet music in front of me. My vision was still trying to adjust to the darkness inside the house, and my heart was still racing. My fingers trembled a little bit. You can't play Chopin yet, and you want to start composing your own music? My mother asked me, tapping the sheet music in front of me. What did I play before? I couldn't really remember. Play this again from the beginning, my mother said, her voice low with authority. Again. I played the same page over and over again until I felt sick. I decided to play with emotion. The emotions I felt through the piece. It felt euphoric. My mother pulled my hands away from the keyboard. You're not playing it right. You aren't conveying the emotion properly for this piece, she shouted. Please stop, I shouted back. I shot up from my seat. Stop it, stop it, stop it. I pulled at my hair in frustration. My mother stared at me, frozen. In my rage, I took my mother's trophy from one of her classical music competitions and hurled it at the piano. A key flew forward and brushed my cheek.
Is that the key he keeps with him?
I wonder if that's the key he keeps with him. Okay, so... Ow. Oh my god, my back all of a sudden hurt. Okay, so August that year. I lay down on my bed after finally sending through the music file to Jin. I remember finding something written in the margins of the sheet music I'd found in our storage room classroom. It certainly wasn't my handwriting. It read, "If we're together, we can laugh." I remembered a while ago on a foggy day that I had walked across the sports field with Jin at school. It was awkward for both of us. I shoved my hands in my pockets and tried to lag behind on purpose. Of course, Jin wasn't the type to actually leave me behind. He tried and failed to hold a conversation with me. Each time he tried, the awkwardness got worse. I finally asked him, these stupid ads, when was the last time you genuinely cried? He didn't answer me, and I didn't ask him again after that. Maybe Jin had written those words along the margin of my sheet music. I wasn't sure. If we're together, we can laugh. The sheet music had been so childish as well. The music I wrote 2 years ago in high school was...
Okay, hi.
I told you, I know, it's because the ad closed. The music I wrote 2 years ago in high school was aggressive and poorly done. It was nothing compared to the detailed beauty I did now. My high school days were filled with me getting drunk, staggering around, but I also spent countless nights working on my music. I stayed up all night back then finishing the piece. By the time I was done, I called it "If We're Together, We Can Laugh."
No, I have to pee.
She has to pee. Pee break.
Pee break. Ow!
Pee break. He's a little ball.
Oh!
Don't disturb him. What are you doing?
He's too fucking cute looking.
I know.
You moved.
It's okay. It's just a pee break, Taco Man. It's just a pee break. Where are you going? No! No! Don't leave me! Don't leave me! No! Taco Man, don't leave me! Why don't leave me, man? Yeah. Oh, big yawn. Oh, that smelled fishy. That stunk, Taco. You got stinky fishy breath. You got stinky fishy breath. Hi, Opal. Oh, man. Oh, come on. Is it really that bad? Just let me love you. It's like, no. Taco Man.
I'm sorry, Taco.
He's
Okay.
like, help me. Help me. He's like, Jimin, help me. Ugh, I can't. Kitty!
Taco.
Kitty face!
Taco. I know.
Taco? Can you just let me love you though? Like, serendipity, man. Hello. Okay. I collapsed to the okay, this is Namjoon, August 25th. I think this is the okay, fine. Okay, last night he did that and he whacked me in the eyeball with his tail and my eye was like leaking the rest of the night because well, I'm allergic to cats. So yeah, cat hair dander in and around my eyeballs and nose. I can't do that. Just having him is fine. As long as it isn't in and around my nose and stuff. Okay. Okay. Help me. I fucking lose my shit every time. Okay. I collapsed to the floor of my... this is RM, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I collapsed to the floor of my compartment. It was so hot I could barely open my eyes. I squinted my eyes and tried to look around. 10 minutes ago, I told him to wait while I got ramyun. Oh, because this is the little kid. Okay, yes, okay. I was like, wait, what? Then I heard someone cough. I spotted Wu Chang crouched further in the compartment. I quickly dumped the water on a blanket and wrapped it around him. We're going to have to jump through the window, I told him. You can do that, right? Oh, is this because it was on fire?
Oh.
Because why would he dump water on a blanket and wrap it around him and jump through a window?
Outside the door, the flames crept up.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh.
How did his compartment catch on fire all of a sudden? That's really random.
Jin's... Or was it Jin?
Jin saw the premonition, but like, how did this happen, you know? Okay, we're going to have to jump through the window, I told him. You can do that, right? Outside the door, the flames crept up. On the count of 3, we're going to jump, I told him, taking his hand. 1, 2. Before 3, something fell outside the door. The building materials that had been leaning against the compartment must have fallen over. They were now devoured by the flames. Sparks flew into the air at the collapse. Wu Chang and I stepped back. There was no way out now.
What is happening?
Interesting.
The fuck?
Okay. So this is RM earlier this, so the month prior. I looked up at the building before me. It was the city center. Lights were still on here and there inside. There were a lot of signs put up for lawyers and accountants. All the lights were on in the top and 5th floor. Taeyoung and I spent time looking at the top floor buildings in this high in Songju. We had no idea what we were looking for. All we had as a clue was Taehyung's dream. The can of coffee, the 4-leaf clover. And so we stayed up and went around looking at all these buildings. It had rained for a few days and we kept our umbrellas with us. After a while, we stopped using them and decided just to get soaked by the rain. Once we had been mistaken for thugs while walking up and down the stairway of a building soaking wet, and they chased us out. The iron doors on the rooftops were usually locked, so it was difficult to check from the stairs. I looked up at the building again. Will this be what we're looking for? One of the offices in front of me read, Assemblyman Kim Chang-jun. Who is Kim Chang-jun? V said. I don't know him. I gave him an incredulous look. Oh, you don't know him? I gave him an incredulous look. V looked at me blankly. I still couldn't believe what some people didn't know. V was the kind of person not to hesitate to hold his hand out to someone. He wasn't hesitant. Finally, I answered, Kim Chang-jun is Seokjin's father. Interesting. Okay, so J-Hope. Also July, J-Hope. Seokjin Hyung, can you talk to your father? You know what that orphanage means to me. That place is my home. All the kids there won't have a place to call home if they decide to redevelop that area. Can't they leave the orphanage out of this? Okay, because they're gonna redevelop the area and tear down the orphanage. That's what I said the moment I got into Namjoon's compartment. I couldn't help it. Everyone stared at me, stunned. Seokjin's face remained void of any emotion. I held back my tears as I looked at him. He stared back at me as if it was nothing. As if I was nothing. It only made the hurt worse.
Jesus. Got mad.
It's already been decided. There's nothing I can do, Jin finally answered. Each word sunk into me slowly as I processed what he had just said. There was a wall between Jin and I now. Those words created that wall. Jin belonged to a world full of decisiveness, while I was from a world where I couldn't change the decisions others had made.
Hello.
I thought Jin Hyung was my friend, but now it seemed impossible to be friends with him when he was so different from me. We came from two very worlds. Two very different worlds. I said that weird. After his words sunk in and I snapped out of it, I got angry. I shouted at him, "How can you be like this? Please just help me." but I already knew that my words could do nothing. To be honest, that anger was never directed at Jin himself. Instead, I was angry at myself. After all, I was the one who couldn't do anything. I was the one who was nothing.
Ah. So Jin is basically like merped right now because he's like trying to stop something, but they didn't really say what he was trying to stop.
Yeah.
He just said that he was trying to look out for himself because he had to do it without thinking about something else.
Right, exactly. I don't know. Okay. Okay, so J-Hope, a few days later, also same year. When I got to Hangok, whatever. When I got to that town, the first thing that came to mind was that it was similar to Sungju. There were
definitely after he left.
It seems like it. There were definitely more people here. On the platform, people rushed past me. I took my time and strolled around. I acted calm and collected. I acted like someone far from Jungkook. I didn't pay attention to anyone else around me, and I walked at whatever pace I wanted. I ate spicy food that I usually wouldn't like. I paid without saying anything. I walked along the sidewalk and spat on the ground. I followed directions on my phone to a store in a strip mall near a high school. There was a kimbap restaurant and a stationery store by the place I was looking for. It was funny. The place reminded me of a 2-star burger. I looked around, wondering where I should go to look for an apartment if I were to move here. I snapped out of my thoughts when someone bumped into me. So I stopped myself from apologizing and gathered myself. I fixed my eyes on the stranger and gave him a critical stare. Watch where you're going, I said coldly. I wasn't a kid anymore. I wouldn't allow anyone to use me or treat me badly anymore. Here in Hangok, I don't know. Here in this city, I was unkind, unfriendly, a cold Jungkook. My facade crumbled in 5 seconds flat as I realized who was in front of me. Hosuk Young, is that you? Who is it? Who's in front of him? Who is it? Okay.
Could you imagine, like, just, like, merped him, just, like, mean him? I couldn't see it.
I can imagine intimidating him.
I can imagine, obviously, because we've seen that, but, like, could you imagine, like,
no,
not,
just,
like,
flat out,
sunshiny,
like, pissed off mean?
Like,
no.
mean him? I honestly, that'd be weird.
I can definitely imagine, like, the intimidating him, but just, asshole him,
like,
I don't know.
Like, that's, that's, like, dance teacher him. Like, when he gets in, like, that, like, zone and he's focused, but, like, just, like, flat demeanor, like,
yeah,
nothing. It's weird. I don't like it.
Okay, so year 9. So Jin is 9 years old. So that's how far back we're talking. So we're talking 13 years in the past. So J-Hope, 13 years in the past. I got up and rubbed at my eyes. My hyungs woke me up and told me to follow them. I wanted to go back to bed, but reluctantly, I followed them out to the hallway. I wondered what time it was. It was still dark. We went up to the roof and opened the door. It creaked loudly. We all paused and looked around. After a while, we all got to the roof. And sat together. Okay. I'm like, yeah. Why are we up here again? I asked. Just wait. Hosuk, Jin told me. Then there was an explosion. To the north, the sky lit up. I closed my eyes and curled into a ball in shock. He'd get shocked by it. God. It smelled like something was burning. Wow, someone exclaimed. Hush, Jin said. I opened my eyes a little and looked up at the sky, and I heard another explosion, and stars littered the sky. Fireworks, Jin told me, not stars. The fireworks continued. I finally relaxed and lay on my back, staring up at them. They were beautiful. So many patterns, flowers, stars. J-Hope is crying, the Youngs teased. Hey, I protested, wiping my sleeve across my eyes. I didn't stop crying, though. Fire flower, fireworks.
He's so fucking cute. No.
That's really precious. I know, I need to see, like, a compilation of, like, of Jimin mad. Yeah.
Oh, God, what is this?
Is this a little bit of an explanation? Okay, hold on. Okay, so Jimin... So this is August, so this is current, August 20th, so that's kind of current, year 22. I hugged my younger self tighter. I felt his damp body, his racing heart. Just wait a little longer, hold on a little longer. When you're older, you're going to make such wonderful friends. They'll help you become a better person. I promise things will get better. Just keep being strong for just a little longer. I hugged myself tighter. I could feel tears welling up in my eyes. As I hugged myself tighter, I couldn't help crying a little. I woke up. How long had I been asleep? I got up and wiped my eyes. I looked up at the sky. I was in the arboretum. I'd fallen asleep here. Scroll. The sun was...
God damn you.
The sun was bright enough for me to guess it was around midday. It was quiet. There wasn't a single trace of the rain that had fallen earlier. I spotted the exit in the distance and made my way out of the arboretum.
So he went to the arboretum.
He went there?
And
he must have... I mean, I don't think he just went there, well, let me go to sleep. I mean, like, he must have, like, blacked out or something, like, from, like, memory, you know what I mean? Just from, like, stress.
I don't know.
And, like... I don't know.
But, like, it's weird because every time...
Why is he there?
But every time he's remembered, like, the Arboretum in the past, like, it's been followed by, like, a panic attack of some sort. But
so how is he here without a panic attack, is what I'm saying.
He's getting up and he's like, I'm just going to walk out now.
Okay, let me leave. What? Yeah, that's crazy. I'm so confused. Okay, so... Okay. Like a month or so earlier... I wandered around the convenience store. I was killing... This is Jimin. I was wandering around the convenience store. I was killing time. I used to skip school and wait in the park across from this convenience store. Songjuja Middle School. This is where we'd all gone. It had been such a long time since I'd come to this neighborhood. Not much had changed. Suga and JK lived in this area back then. I walked around the neighborhood. After some time, I spotted graffiti inside an alley to my right. I recognized it. It must be V's. I stopped in front of the graffiti to take a closer look. It was a face, drawn and angry about black lines. There was no warmth. It was Jin's face, but somehow it was someone else's face too. Both faces I'd recognized had those same soulless eyes. Only then did I realize who I had to find. So it doesn't... You have to scroll down just a tiny bit more. It's okay. So
he recognizes...
So he recognized who the other face is. Only then did I realize who I had to find. Had the same soulless eyes.
I don't know what's happening.
Is it also... I'm trying to think of who else would have soulless eyes in the storyline. Is it also V? Is it V and Jin? I'm just trying to think of who else it could be. It's obviously not Jimin. I don't think it's JK. But, I mean...
Or, I mean, where he was at in his storyline. I feel like
it could be multiple of them, honestly.
I don't know, honestly.
Okay. So... Sorry. Okay, so we were 3 years earlier. So 3 years ago. Jimin. I looked out the car window. The sky was blue outside. The air was fresh. My mother and father sat in front, playing music. It was a happy picture. I rolled down my window and stuck my hand out. The yellow ginkgo trees outside were ridding themselves of all their leaves. They fell down like rain. I stretched my hand further out the window to try to catch a leaf. I didn't even come close. Jimin, you'll get hurt, my mother warned me. What will you do if you get hurt? You won't be able to go on stage. The lights on stage were bright when I went on. I danced with my friends, feeling the deep bass of the music vibrate through the stage. When we finished our performance, we all smiled at each other, breathless. There was a flood of applause. We walked hand in hand towards the front of the stage and bowed. I managed to spot my parents in the audience standing and applauding. They smiled at me proudly. I opened my eyes and was met with the sight of the hospital ceiling. Tears welled up in my eyes. I'd had a dream. I didn't want to wake up. I wanted to go back to that stage, to that life. I wanted to see those ginkgo trees again. No matter what I did, morning always came, and my dreams always disappeared with it.
Interesting.
So before... But I thought everything happened to him when he was like a kid.
Right.
So...
I thought he was in the hospital.
With this, he is in the hospital. He just woke up from a dream. Oh. But how far... I mean, was he performing on stage when he was, like, a kid? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it have to be because everything...
Because I thought everything happened when he was still fairly young. Like, right. What, like 9 or... Was it... We both had 9 in our head? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm confused. I'm in confusion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. V. July, so about a month prior to where everyone kind of seems at in, like, the August time frame. It was dark when we all went to the storage room classroom. I shone my phone's flashlight over the ground, catching the glimpses of old desks, chairs, and crumpled pamphlets on the floor. I wondered what happened here. Jim was curled up comfortably against the wall in the corner, while Yuki sat at the old piano, arms set by the window writing something onto the fogged-up glass. This place reminds me of the time we spent here in high school, RM spoke up. Although we were all here in the middle of the night. High school? Suga sneered. No thanks. Why do we have to live in a world like this? We didn't have the choice to be born into this world anyway, so how on earth are we actually supposed to survive when we don't have the means to do so? RM thought aloud after some time. Look over here, Jimin said. He straightened up from the position he'd been sitting in and pointed at the wall. It's Jin's dad's name. We all went over to take a look at the wall. The wall was already full of so many other names and drawings that we took a while to spot it. We all pointed our flashlights onto it. And this one is the name of the guy from the hospital, Jimin said, surprised. I don't know the other names here, though. Choi Gayuho? Gayu? I don't know. Yugi pointed to the name. Isn't that the guy that went missing? RM leaned in and read the sentence that was scribbled underneath all the names. Everything started here.
So obviously Jin was I'm going to assume Jin was there doing something.
No, I think, because didn't Jin see that, like, a long time ago? And Jin's like, what the heck is this?
Maybe?
I think Jin saw that a long time ago, and Jin was like, what the hell is this? Because he was never expecting to see his dad's name written on the wall in their hangout spot in high school.
Yes.
And he was like, what the hell? And I think that has something to do with that room in Jin's dad's library.
The secret room that he never goes in.
He found something in that room. And isn't in that room where he found the thing that said, if you could change it all, would you? Didn't that happen in that room?
Honestly, I don't even remember anymore.
Is it a magic room? Yeah. Okay.
It's like Tay's hair. It's magical.
Someone just said I'm surprised they didn't figure that out. But I don't know what it is. Like, I don't want to, like, read more.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'm supposed to... I don't know if I'm supposed to read stuff. Okay. February 28th, year 10. Okay, so this is going to be 12 years in the past. And we're still on V. So 12 years ago, V. While I was in the supermarket, someone stood outside playing with the dog's owner. It was the first time I saw someone playing with Dongyi. The boy stroked Dongyi and gave him something that looked like bread. While I was looking at them, my eyes met with the boy for a second. I quickly looked away and went inside the store, my bread and meat safely inside my jacket. Did he see me? Who is he? Ah, crap, he probably saw me. I tried so hard to hide this. Ah, Taeyoung is here. What are you doing? Didn't you want to come play with Dongyi? I jumped at the sound of the supermarket owner's voice. The boy from earlier lifted his head and met my eyes again. Crap, he saw me. There's no way I'll get out of this now. They know I stole. Since I'd already been caught, I walked out the alleyway and up to them. Who are you? I asked the boy. Who am I? He said. He gave me a confused look as if he didn't know how to answer that. Why are you playing with Dongyi? I asked him instead. What? Again, he looked at me confused. My dad said when he gets enough money, we're going to buy a big house, and then I'll be able to get a dog, and I plan to take Dongyi, so don't even think of taking him, I said. The boy nodded. That sounds nice. Are you poor? Can you also not look after a dog of your own now? Money, he said, looking at me. No, I just can't look after a dog right now. Ask your parents then, I said. My mom says fathers are always good to nag to. They're easier to persuade. He nodded and petted Dongyi. That does sound nice, he said again softly. So who are you? I asked. What's your name, Hyung? Me? I'm Kim Seokjin. So that's when they first met. So the first time V met Jin was when Jin was 10.
Oh, no.
So that means V would have been like 8?
Oh,
no. 7?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of how many years apart they are. Okay, so current, but about a month prior. So current year, about a month earlier than where we're all at right now in like the August time frame. I had no idea how long I had been sitting outside the apartment building. I looked up and spotted a woman, thin and middle-aged by the looks of it. I stepped out of her apartment and onto the balcony of the 3rd floor. She lit a cigarette and leaned against the banister as she smoked. She looked down at the playground. It was around dawn. The smoke she exhaled curled and disappeared into the sky. The sun was almost starting to rise. I kept looking up at her, not daring to move in case she saw me. She stayed on the balcony for a while. She smoked cigarette after cigarette until she had one left.
Jeez.
I wondered if she saw me down here and just didn't want to directly look at me. I wonder what she would think if she saw someone my age on a swing in a playground at this hour. I held the swing as still as I could to keep it from squeaking. After her last cigarette, just as the sun came up, she finally went inside again. I counted the numbers on the doors. 304, 305, 306. That was my mother's apartment. The woman I just seen was my mother. I had finally found her.
So he actually went into the town?
He was actually at the town. He actually went back. Interesting.
Oh, wow.
What's gonna happen now? Ah, and then it goes to JK. God damn it. Fucking cliffhanger. Fuck. Okay, so about 2 months prior to like where we're at right now in the August time frame.
God damn ad. Fuck you. Get off.
I saw myself lying in my bed in the hospital. I looked like I was dreaming. It didn't look like I was having a good dream. It was probably a nightmare. Then my other self woke up. What are they saying?
I just saw a surprised Pikachu face and I thought it was funny.
Okay. Okay. It didn't look like I was having a good dream. It was probably a nightmare. Then my other self woke up. We stared at each other. In that moment, I realized my other self in the bed had a nightmare. They dream of the accident again. When we met eyes, I felt myself fall away. I was in bed now in the hospital. My other self was still above me. We switched like that for a while. It felt as if we were merging somehow. Two parallels of myself were colliding at a fast rate. I woke up screaming. I felt sick. My breath was short and I was sweating. My mother called the doctor in to check if I was all right. He said I was all right, just a few fractures and bruising. Almost no blessing. I was recovering quickly and there was no need to be worried. I'd been lucky to survive the accident. Then I remembered something. Living will be more painful than dying. Are you all right with that? I looked up at the doctor. It was time I asked him what I needed to do. Who was it that hit me in that accident, doctor?
Jen.
It was Jen. It was Jen. Okay, so a little bit later. Still JK. What are you doing, JK? You're not killing anyone. No, you're not killing anyone. Damn it, I'd spaced out again. I'd been playing online with a few other people. I had to act fast. I grabbed my mouse and started shooting. Oh, you're not killing anyone. Okay, he's playing an online game. What are you doing, JK? You're not killing anyone. Okay. I grabbed my mouse and started shooting quickly. I had a machine gun, continuous shots, no reloading needed. My opponents died quickly and fell down like puppets being cut from their strings. I checked the map and saw there was a railway track through the middle.
Are we going to start
Railway.
We're going to start
Railway. Track through the middle. Metal containers were on either side. It reminded me of Namjoon's place at Sungju Station. Stop laughing at me. Railway.
All I can think of is railway.
Railway. Inside the distance, an enemy with a black bandana popped up. I got ready to shoot when I stopped. He kind of reminded me of someone I knew. They looked like one of my Hyungs. I laughed it off and shook my head and started to wipe out the enemies. I stopped for another moment to look at one of my enemies lying dead on the ground. Is that Namjoon Hung? It kind of looks like him. Then someone shot a bullet into my shoulder. Wow, really? I moved my mouse to see someone holding me at gunpoint. What? It was Seokjin Hyung. Time for revenge. What the fuck?
What is...
So wait, is he just imagining that they're in this game with him, or are they actually in the game with him? Huh? Continue next part. I'm confused.
I don't...
Okay, I think this is the last one. Okay, so September. Okay, so this is 10 years earlier. So 10 years ago, JK. My nose is itching like crazy. Everyone was already there, standing in a group. What was going on? This was the first time I saw so many people in one place since school. Amusement parks never had such large groups of people either. As I got closer, I picked up some of their conversations. What is this? I can't live like this. I'm so scared, someone said as they walked away from the group. I ducked past people to try to see what they were gathering around. It was a hole, a huge hole in the ground. It's a sinkhole, someone said, near me. I was curious.
Someone said, near me.
Near me. Someone said, near me. I was curious to see what was inside it. I moved a little closer. All I saw was tree roots and mud. I took another step forward. Careful, someone warned me. The toe of my sneaker lost grip and I stumbled. I quickly stepped back and saw a small sliver of light at the bottom of the sinkhole. A sinkhole within another sinkhole. Who would have thought that was possible? Strange. Why is there a sliver of light at the bottom of the sinkhole?
I still don't know the fucking slither of light thingy that was in his pocket.
That was Jin.
What? Whatever.
There was something in it, like, shiny in his pocket. I've got one in my pocket. Okay, no, this is just saying that until the next one.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it.
Wait, the Smeraldo notes? Is that something we're gonna have to fucking do? We're not doing that today.
Definitely can't do that today.
Okay.
Can't do anything else today.
We're not gonna do the explained?
Dude, it's 30 minutes long. That's 30 minutes long. And that's also, no. I have to be up at 5:30. I can't do it today.
Well, guys. I guess I'll change the title of this live. Since she's not staying.
I can't stay. I figured after the live on Saturday we can do it because it's...
No.
We can do that and then we can jump right into
No.
If you don't talk for 80 hours.
Look, no, we have a lot to do for the Jimmy Fallon thing on Saturday. We're not also doing this.
5 shows.
We're not also doing this.
That's true.
Anitra, did you read the part where they found a diary near their hangout? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Was it in this one or would it be in the other one? Or I'm editing. BTU storyline. Persona and MOTS7 notes. Live reaction. Since there's no explain, since she's leaving us.
I am.
Don't be mad at me, guys. Be mad at her.
You'll be alright.
I'll be fine. I'm a little anxious though because I haven't seen it yet. I really want to see it. I wanted the BU explained. I did too. Trust me. Blame her. Oh well, it's alright. Caitlin needs her sleep. If anything, maybe we can do it. I don't know if what are we doing tomorrow? Are we going I don't know if we'll be going to Melissa's tomorrow or not.
I mean, if not, then there we go.
Yeah, we can either finish this Thursday or Friday, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Friday, I literally don't have anything to do. I have to do laundry, but that's it.
Okay, well, you can bring that over, so. Okay. Well, guys, all that did was confuse me a little bit more.
I feel like I didn't get any...
I feel like we got like 2 little nuggets, and that was it. And that was V finally found his mom.
Mm-hmm.
I think JK's finally about to realize that it was Jin who hit him. Mm-hmm. For
but, like,
RM, the RM fire thing and this boy that came out of nowhere, like, that confuses me.
Also, Jimin waking up in the fucking arboretum.
That confused me. How did Jimin get back to the
and why
arboretum?
was he so chill about waking up and just walking out? Like,
so there's that.
There's things in his...
Suga. Where's he at now? They were changing the dressing. I think that's where he's at now.
I don't know, honestly.
Because it, like, jumped back so much. But he remembered what JK told him about how his music makes him want to live. Oh, that was so fucking precious.
I feel like I got more confused by reading this than I did when we did the book.
Yeah. Well, remember, the books are done in a way to where it's a storyline that flows. Mm-hmm. The notes are like a fucking puzzle.
Over the fucking place.
Yeah, the notes are a crazy ass puzzle that you have to because it jumps around so much. Mm-hmm. At least the book starts
and ends in the way it should.
Yeah, it puts everything in the proper order.
Yeah.
Because there is the part 2. There is the notes part 2 that include Persona and MOTS7, but I would have had to order it, wait for it to come in, and I just didn't know if I had enough time for all that, so I didn't worry about doing that yet, although I do want to end up getting it just to have it, to complete it, the collection. But, yeah, so I bet the part 2 will be just like this one where everything's put in order, where it makes sense, and you're not constantly jumping back and forth, because that's very confusing. Yeah, the constant jumping back and forth, it makes things very confusing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So...
But wow, that was...
That's why I was wondering, where did the notes go in this? Oh, I forgot. We have... Oh, wait, why is there multiples? There's multiple cards in here. Oh, look, they're... Wait, I can't see shit. Hold on. I guess I can... Hold on. There we go. Look, there's the boys. I got a bunch of cards of the boys. What are you singing?
I don't know.
I don't know what she's singing. Okay, so We will either be doing, it's apparently too late for Grandma to stay up any longer, so we can't do the explain tonight. So we will do, she's like, I have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning.
Fuck that shit.
So if she goes home right now, if she falls asleep right now, she will get less than 6 hours of sleep still. If she goes home right now and makes it home by midnight and sleeps by midnight, she will get 5.5 hours of sleep. So I understand. We need to let her go home and go to sleep. So, okay. So we will, if we can do it tomorrow, if we're not going over our friend's house tomorrow, like we normally do on Thursdays, then we can do it tomorrow. If we go over our friend's house, then we will do it Friday. Okay? So either way, either tomorrow or Friday, we will do the explained storyline and get that done and taken care of. I only did this live because reading the notes and stuff live is just easier. Do you still want us to do the storyline explained live? Or, because if that's the case, I can actually announce it earlier in the day. We're going to go live at this time so that everyone has time to see it in case the notification doesn't end up happening, like tonight. Yeah. So I will, we'll figure out whether it's going to be Thursday or Friday. I'll put it on the page with as much time as I can. I'm assuming it's going to be Friday, guys, honestly. I'm assuming it's just going to be Friday.
We'll probably end up going over there.
Yeah, because I'm thinking we're probably going to end up going over to Melissa's house. We normally do. So why don't we just say Friday, and we'll figure out a specific time, and I'll put a community post out about it, letting everyone know we are doing a live reaction to this X Celeste storyline summary part 1 and part 2 on Friday. What's up? Touching me with your toes, you wacko. Friday at I don't know, we'll say 8 o'clock or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that will make a goal. Friday at 8 o'clock, our time. She's literally wiggling her toes all over my leg. She's still doing it. Okay, yeah, so, yeah, it's better live. Okay, they like the live. I really do like the live just because I can ask questions if needed, you know. So yeah, Grandma needs to sleep now. Adam, I will probably eventually, I don't know if I will actually do that tomorrow, but I'm sure I will. I'm curious to see how it sounds. Your stomach, dude, what is happening? All right, so thank you for spending time with us and being here with us during our reading of this and just kind of trying to figure this out a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, where did we leave off? Hold on. So I already had mentioned several people already. JK, we left off where? I don't really, where did we leave off with JK?
I feel like...
And J-Hope. I mean, I feel like there wasn't really...
There wasn't, I don't know.
And Jin, we left off at...
He's trying to, save himself?
Figuring out that he needs to save himself in order to be able to save the others.
He's like, I have to
go back to that accident and prevent it from happening.
Before I can focus on
what
else.
What accident of his? That's what I was thinking. Maybe it was the accident with the girl. Mm-hmm. And maybe because maybe at that moment, because remember, that's August 30th. Mm-hmm. And that's when the things, the flowers fell and he stood them back up. So yeah, and we're in August right now. Everything's August-y-ish time frame. Yeah, I don't know.
His eyes are dead. Yeah, if I had to relive my friends dying constantly, I would be like...
I'd be dead inside too. Yeah, I can't do this anymore. Yeah, seriously. Okay, so thank you for spending time with us. Hopefully you guys picked up on things this time around that maybe you didn't notice before. I don't know. Hey. So yeah, it took me 2 weeks to come to sort of conclusion. Okay, so yeah, we're going to say Friday, 8 p.m., we will be concluding the BU storyline summary from X Celeste Part 1 and Part 2, okay? I will announce it on the community tab and on Twitter and everything so that everyone has plenty of time to know that it's happening so that if YouTube doesn't send out a notification, it'll still be okay.
If they want to watch.
Yeah. You know what I should do? Because you can premiere a video, but you can't premiere live. I should premiere a video called "We're Going Live for the BU Explained Friday at blah blah blah," and it'll just be like a 1 minute long video of me going like, "Hey guys, we're going live in like 2 seconds. Hop on over." You know what I mean? Because like at least people will get an alert for it.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Well, if it premieres, it's like you can set a reminder for a premiere, and then it reminds you 30 minutes beforehand, and it reminds you again when it premieres. What do you think? Yeah? Okay. I'm just trying to think of like the best way to do that so like no one will miss it and everyone can be involved in the chat and stuff. And I know so many people have requested us to react to the storyline explained. So I want as many people to be able to be there with us to do it while we actually see it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll do that. She's gonna leave, so I'll probably just record like a little like minute long video or something saying, "Hey guys, hop on over." Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like hardly anyone got. No one got anything for this one, Misty. Unfortunately, I put a community post up and I put a Twitter post up, but I mean, unless you're actually looking, no one's gonna see it. So, all right. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for spending tonight with us. We will see you live again on Friday with the storyline explained, and tomorrow I will be posting. If anybody is interested, I will be posting Stray Kids Any and X reaction that we just did earlier today. I will be posting that tomorrow for you guys. So, yeah, very interesting reaction. I'll just put that out there. Very interesting reaction. All right, so, yeah, that's it. Good night, guys. Love you so much, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Bye. Mwah. Love you guys. She's older than I am.
Bitch, I've been up longer than you have.